Re-signing Malik Monk turned out to be more valuable for the Sacramento Kings than we could have imagined, as not only was he insane off the bench for us last season, but it turns out he was also one of Domantas Sabonis' most valuable teammates. Sup guys, so a report recently came out stating how valuable Malik Monk was for us last season, not only playing insane off the bench for us, coming in second in Sixth Man of the Year race, and proving to everyone in the league that he's an elite shot creator and shot maker, but also proving his how underrated his playmaking is for the Sacramento Kings and his passing vision and how unreal him and Domantas Sabonis actually were for us last season. As it turns out, he was one of Domantas Sabonis' most valuable teammates last season, as some stats actually just prove how Malik Monk and Sabonis worked perfect together off of that pick and roll, as you can go over numerous clips and just watch how Malik Monk is so underrated when it comes to playmaking out of the pick and roll scenarios. But anyways, before we head into today's report, welcome back to Kings Digest, the channel that showcases all of the upcoming Sacramento Kings news, so make sure you subscribe to the channel, as YouTube still tells me that 94.1% of you guys that watch my videos still aren't yet subscribed, so make sure you subscribe to the channel. Let's try to get to 200 subs as quick as we possibly can. Make sure you join the community before the next season gets here. Now let's head over to today's report. As it states, Domantas Sabonis is happy that Malik Monk is back in Sacramento, and for a good reason. Their two-man game is one of the most underrated aspects of the Sacramento Kings offense. We focus so much on Sabonis running the Kings offense through the dribble handoff action at the top of the key, but his ability to set screens in a pick and roll is highly underrated, especially when Monk is the one running the point. As I stated earlier, Malik Monk's playmaking is basically solely based around that pick and roll scenario, as that's where he just excels at, as he can, he is perfect at recognizing when to attack in the pick and roll and when to dish it off to the big, and he does it so perfectly, as he times that pass so well, as it doesn't give the defense enough time to react to the pass and try to pick up on the big, and he just does so well, as you can see numerous times through plenty of highlights he's generated last season. He's just phenomenal at attacking and finishing in the paint, as he has come up with multiple Dunk of the Year contenders, and he's just insane at his body control in the air as well, to just finish with acrobatic layups around the rim as well, and just finishing through tough contact. But when he's not doing those acrobatic finishes in the paint, he's setting that perfect dime to Sabonis off of that pick and roll, leaving for Sabonis to do what he does in the post with his elite footwork and elite post moves. He will definitely, 9 chances out of 10, that pick and roll is going to develop in a bucket one way or the other. But let's just head over to this other report, as it just states further on that when Monk gets going downhill, he has a unique ability to not only finish in traffic, but also pass the ball seemingly through defenders. His vision while driving is especially beneficial to the Kings All-Star center. And it's basically just going over what I was stating earlier, how Malik Monk's vision off of that pick and roll is just elite. And I mean, a lot of people are recognizing his playmaking ability now, but I can just see that, taking another jump next season, especially since there's a lot of questions in the air now on who the starting two guard is going to be for the Sacramento Kings. Come opening tip-off against the Wolves on October 24th. And while Malik Monk obviously has made his case to, show people why he deserves that starting spot, and no doubt he has the talent to be the starting shooting guard for the Sacramento Kings, but it's just a question on whether or not you would rather have his talents to come off your bench or to be in that starting rotation. Now, this report is going to help his fact, to bump him into that starting rotation, as him and Sabonis work elite together. And I mean, if you just have that to open up games, you have that, versatility in your starting rotation, as you can have De'Aaron Fox, who's an elite playmaker. Him and Sabonis will be doing their thing, but then you also have a secondary playmaker in Malik Monk to also take over sometimes, take control of the ball, run plays himself, run that pick and roll with Domantas Sabonis to generate a bucket, with either him finishing through traffic or dumping it off to Sabonis for an easy two in the paint and just letting him do his thing. And I mean, I feel like that would be beneficial for the Sacramento Kings, as it opens up more opportunities on the offensive end for us. But I do think having Malik Monk coming off the bench is great for us too, and having Keon Ellis with his defense in the starting lineup is amazing and another viable option as well. But, I mean, this report might change my mind, as just seeing how well Monk and Sabonis were last year. I mean, it's almost a no-brainer that you have to have them on the court with each other. But heading over to this other report, Sabonis was Malik's favorite passing target last season, and it wasn't particularly close. He dished out 370 assists, and 109 of them went to Domantas Sabonis. And the next closest was 43 assists from Monk to De'Aaron Fox. So clearly Monk loved passing the ball to Sabonis, and they just have that unique chemistry. And it just clearly shows with Malik Monk's playmaking vision off of that pick and roll. It just generates assists so easily, especially since Sabonis is elite off of that pick and roll action. Those 109 assists were also the most that Domantas received from any teammate, with the second closest being 77 assists from Fox to Sabonis. So even with Fox being the primary playmaker and being in that starting rotation with Sabonis for, majority of the time, he's probably on the court with Sabonis more than any other teammate, and he's still the second closest to Malik Monk. It just shows that Malik Monk's playmaking is actually elite, and it is a crucial part to this Kings offense. As you could definitely see, if you do insert Malik Monk into the starting rotation, it just opens up so many more opportunities, and you could definitely see Malik Monk taking another step in his playmaking abilities and probably averaging from 5 assists maybe to 7 to 8 range. And I believe that would be great to see, and is something Mike Brown should definitely take into consideration when he's thinking of that starting shooting guard position. But as this report further states, what makes the numbers even more impressive is that the duo reached the high mark in 1,138 total minutes together. That ranked 5th for players that Domantas shared the court with, behind Keegan Murray, Harrison Barnes, and De'Aaron Fox and Kevin Huerter. So even while being the 5th, teammate that's sharing the court with Domantas Sabonis the most, as he is, down on the lower end. He's on the court with Sabonis a lot, but he's not as much as the other starting players, obviously, and he's still generating all these assists for Sabonis, and Malik Monk is still Sabonis' top, recipient. And I mean, they just worked great together last season. I can only see that furthering next year, as well as I do believe that Malik Monk is going to work wonders for us again next season, and is just a debate on whether or not he's going to be coming off the bench for us again next year, or is he going to now be in that starting rotation that he definitely shown he deserved. And I think with what we've learned today, him and Sabonis might work perfect together in that starting rotation, as it gives another playmaker in that starting lineup to pair with De'Aaron Fox. I mean, just having two reliable playmakers to run your offense with an do-it-all center in Domantas Sabonis, I believe is just elite and will work wonders. And then you insert DeMar DeRozan in there for some extra added offensive talent. I think we are in great hands next year, and I'm so excited to see what Mike Brown does decide to do with his lineup decisions opening up against the Timberwolves on October 24th. But basically, guys, that's all for today's video. Let me know down in the comments below what you think of this underrated dynamic duo, Malik Monk and Domantas Sabonis, and how you expect them to perform next season. And basically, let me know if you believe Malik Monk should be inserted in that starting rotation spot, especially with what you've learned today, with him and Sabonis being such an elite duo together. Just let me know if you think Malik Monk does deserve that starting shooting guard spot. But that's all for today, guys. Peace out. I'll see you in the next one.